Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, what is it, Friday? It's probably Thursday afternoon or Friday. Today is Thursday, okay? It's one of those weeks where we're getting the episode out late. Was I planning on putting it out Monday? Yeah, I was, but you know what? Times are just different, kids, okay? Did I record an actual 7-minute episode to do the whole 7 minutes in Evan just to see how it was? And you know what? Couldn't bust. Okay, I had blue balls from just doing 7 minutes. I was like, this ain't the move. Hot shot. Okay, hot diggity dog. All right, that's not the move. A 7-minute episode, shit's for the birds. Shit is not me. Okay, I like a nice marinated 30 minutes. You ever got a 15-minute massage? It's not possible. It's not possible to enjoy yourself in 15 minutes. Okay, with what we're shooting for here. Okay, I know I'm using a lot of weird metaphors, but it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of hot dogs, you know your boy choked on one when he was a kid? That's not a gay joke, okay? That's not a gay joke, okay? So get your head out of there, okay? Vividly remember it, all right? I was at Costco eating a hot dog. Same price, okay? Everybody wants to talk about inflation and prices. Costco's showing that if you just hold the fucking line, we can have a country without so much goddamn greed, okay? Costco. It's where the Americans go, okay? Why isn't that a thing? Like, we don't talk about the Costco hot dog price enough in this country, okay? Probably because kids are choking on them. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they're like, we'll keep this cheap because if someone loses a kid to a choking issue with a hot dog in the Costco food court, they won't come back at us because they'll be like, well, it was $1.50 or whatever the price. I think it's $1.50, right? Nice round number. You ever be leaving Costco and you just look at all the animals just grazing at those tables, like the people who sit down to eat, and they look dead inside. I don't know. It's like a weird petting zoo. Like when you're leaving Costco and you're pushing your cart and you're walking by the food court, for some reason, I just look at everybody like it's a petting zoo. They're just sitting there, just animals. It's the best people watching ever at a Costco food court, okay? And I love Costco, okay? I can't get enough of Costco. I've done everything you can think of in a Costco. Costco will just randomly sell anything. Great riffing. Anyway, I choked on a hot dog. I don't need to explain myself to you, okay? When I say Costco, why do we have 100-pack of macaroni and cheese? Who's eating this, okay? I remember before I get into this hot dog story, I'm just building up the tension, okay? Big old balloon that's going to pop and not have any payoff at the end. When the pandemic was happening, the pandy, that which shall not be named, there was like scares of like, this is about to happen, you guys. So people started stocking up. I said, let's go to Costco. We need toilet paper anyway, okay? And paper towels. And we go to Costco, and there was literally a line forming, like cars, people directing traffic. Like it was getting crazy. And my girl and I, we were having a great time. We were enjoying it. We were acting like it was The Walking Dead. I was like limping through Costco. People who were actually worried were not thinking it was that funny, okay? But there was a line. They were like pushing us through like cattle, dude. Just like wait. There was one person handing out toilet paper, like making sure that you were only getting one big giant thing of toilet paper. Okay. There were some people that went back. There was an Asian couple in front of us that I swear they went back more than once. I saw that and I was like, And that's not just me making an Asian joke that they look alike. That it was a different. I'm pretty sure it was the same one. Because one was wearing one of those hats from Jurassic Park. You know, the old man where he had his little bucket hat. We don't see enough of those hats. Not that specific hat, but like the Raiden hat, like the rice field hat that Raiden from Mortal Kombat used to wear. Why aren't we wearing those? That's the most functional hat that we have in the market. Okay, yeah, you can't see too much going on, but why do you wanna? Okay, and then you got also the power of over electricity. I've lost everyone at this point. Okay. When I was a little kid, I was eating a hot dog at the food court. Okay. Took a big old bite. That's the thing is that weenie just sticks out the front way too much. Pause. No homo. Okay. I took a bite. I went a little too deep on it. Pause. Took a bite. Weenie shot down my throat, dude. Literally, if it was a cartoon, it would have made this sound. Like just clogging it up. Just poof. And I literally was just like, I was sitting there with my brother and my dad. My dad never wanted to skimp on a deal, okay? Why take you to a restaurant where you have a waiter, self-serve, Costco, okay? $6, everybody's eating. And I just start going like this. There was panic, but it literally was just pure luck. Because there's like only two ways a hot dog can go. If you inhale, like you go, you put it in deeper. Pause. But me, I just go, and I'm like that. And I'm just like, for like 5 or 6 seconds, I'm literally just like, and I'm looking at my dad. My dad doesn't even put his hot dog down. My dad's like, this cost me $1.50. I'm not putting it down. I'm going to enjoy this doggy right here. My dad's holding his hot dog and just staring at me, which in hindsight, baller move. Okay. He just looks at me and he's just watching me and he's just staring. He's not doing anything. And then I just go, and I literally just, he goes, and it comes right back out. Unfortunately on the table. But I picked it back up. But at that time, tears are coming out of my eyes. Drool is coming out of my mouth. And I'm like, clearly like, like I thought I was close to death, dude. I thought I passed over to the other side. And all my dad did is he finishes chewing his food and he goes, you got to chew your freaking food. And then I don't even think I said anything. And I just continued to eat my dog. Okay. Made sure I chewed it. Okay. And that's the moral of the story. That's the moral of this episode. Chew your hot dogs. Okay. Don't choke on that dog. All right. Don't choke that dog down. All right. You don't try to be too ambitious, and make sure you take that dog down one bite at a time. Okay. That's a scary thing. It's knowing how to do the Heimlich is one of those things that it's good just to kind of know, but you rarely ever get the opportunity to do it. Okay. Chewing is one thing that we've done pretty well as a society to like get around. All right. Except for that one little weirdo on the internet who like just films himself. Have you seen this guy? It's like, have you seen this? It's like ASMR where he'll just take it. He'll just go, and he just chews weird and everybody loves it. It's the weirdest fucking thing about the internet is we don't like reward. Reward is a hard word for me. We don't reward like actual hard work and talent. We just reward different, like obscure, like cringe, like just weird things we're attracted to. And like, what is that? Why are we like that? Because it's like I don't even believe people when they start talking about like the symphony and they're just like, yeah, I like to watch this and I like to do that, and they start talking about different orchestras. I believe there's like maybe 2% of the population that really loves to go to the symphony and there's like, they really appreciate it. And those people are terrible to be around. Okay. It is what it is. But they've just gotten so grandiose. But here's the reality. You see someone on the street with a violin, you'll stop and watch it. But you're not going to go on Spotify and just listen to the violin over and over again. Okay. Like you're not breaking it down. You're not watching. You're watching weird cringe TikTok. You're not on social media watching these like beautiful things and like this like high level art that took a lifetime to get good at. You're watching some weird influencer in the wild doing cringe things. All right. Like we like cringe talk. This is the weirdest thing. It's fascinating that people act like that. And for some reason that's more rewarded than just pure hard work and just like achievement. Okay. Which all goes to says you got to play the field how it lays. All right. And I'm not even of the caliber of like, I believe in the free market, baby. Okay. That's what I'm getting at. All right. Is people are going to do what they want to do. So you give the people what they want. Okay. Is there a social responsibility to not give in and be like, let's try to steer society as a whole back to like, a place of where we are? because I don't know if we are where we are at because of just normal human progression. Is this where we were always going to go? Is once we hit a level of comfort and shelter and food and life that we were just going to always just dive into these gluttonous attention reward systems? Or did sneaky people who just got really good at developing the technology and these algorithms, did they prey upon human nature and have made us like this? Have we robbed society of its attention span at the expense of advertising? Okay, boom. Why don't we put a bow on that one, huh? Happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, drinking coffee. Your boy lives on it. It's my blood source. No coffee or no talkie before coffee. It's an interesting thing. People live by quotes. Okay, we've talked about quotes before and how I feel about them. Your boy I do love a quote. Okay, I love a quote. I love a good quote, and that's like, okay, that's such a good quote. What was one that I heard earlier? Heard something, already skipped my mind, but it absorbed it. Okay, that's how I am with knowledge and stuff, and learning things. Is I absorb it as I go. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I understand that this thing is good. I'm not necessarily going to digest exactly why anymore. I've already ran that through the thing, and I know, and I read it, and then I go, okay, this is good. And then I store just that little tidbit about it. Because I'm not planning on like educating, like when it comes to multivitamins or like different supplements or things or something that you should be doing, I'll learn about it. I'll do the research and everything. And then once I know, bing, okay, it's in the green zone. All right, I'm going to add it to this. And then I kind of wishy-washy away all the other stuff. Just because what am I, a computer? I'm not going to store all that knowledge. I can have ChatGPT bring it back up. All right. But there was a quote, and it basically was just insinuating about how the amount of things that you'll do, the random things that you'll do when you're not doing the things you're supposed to do, like the random achievements you'll have, like you'll organize your entire pantry before you do the actual thing that you're supposed to do. But the point I was making about quotes, I had a show on, when was it? Not this last, the Fairmont last Friday. And a great time. If you guys haven't been, if you like caviar, if you got a little extra cash laying around, come to Comedy and Caviar. Okay, it's usually a higher end crowd. The drinks, everything's much more pricier, but you're getting experience in a very fancy speakeasy. It's a fun event. We have a great time. We make it fun for the guests. There is. I was doing the show and I opened the show. So I warm up the crowd. I talk to them. I tell jokes. I weave it in. I try to get them excited for the show. And there's this old guy, people sometimes when I'm doing the opening set, I'll ask questions. People yell out. And this one guy, he yells something unprovoked. So then I go, okay, what do you do? And then he says, I'm jobless, blah, 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 lawless. And like I said, and then I go, I hate you. I hate you, sir. That sounds like something you can buy at Home Goods. Okay. It's the equivalent of live, laugh, love. And I'll be honest, looked like it hurt the guy's feelings. Okay. I felt bad about that. But sometimes when you say corny things out loud, it should be exposed. Okay. I say corny things out loud all the time. Get exposed. Doesn't feel good. I never say those things out loud again. Okay. I go, yeah, I guess I was doing that. Those are the things that I just don't think some people can pull them off. All right. Listen, I used to, and it's old men can pull off some funny little things. You ever been at a gas station and you hold the door for some old timer and they say, thank you, young man. And then they say, how you doing today? And I said, doing good. How are you? And they say something, well, another day I'm alive. And you go, holy shit, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. If some 35-year-old said that to me, okay, and they tried saying it cool like that, I'd say, you're about to be unalived, all right, just for saying that dumb shit right now. Because I know what you're trying to do. You're not him. You're not that guy, pal, okay? You got to be an old man who's lived, who's rugged, to say cool shit like that. Okay. To say shit like when someone says, man, that was a great job, to be able to say things like, still a little gas left in the tank. You know, that's very cool for an old man to say, for somebody rugged to say. But if you're saying these things, that's not your life, dude. It sounds terrible. You don't think I want to say these kind of things? You don't think I want to be this old man? And listen, I'm collecting cool quotes, cool things to say for when I hit that place where it's okay for me to talk like that. Okay. A waitress brings me a bill. You think it's okay for me to say right now, thank you, darling, I appreciate that? No, I'm a creep. Okay. Call somebody a pudding. Okay. Sweet tartar. Okay. It's not okay. But maybe I'm an old man in my 90s. And that's the thing. I can feel the pushback from the libs and the Gen Z, and they shouldn't be saying anything other than a woman's name at work. Okay, shut the fuck up. Okay, toots. All right. There's an old man level where you hear it. You never had an old lady call you sugar? Okay. You don't think that's the coolest thing? You don't think I've had an old lady call me sugar and I've rode that compliment for 6 or 7 years? Okay. Having a bad day, something happens. Okay, well, that bill's overdue, but at least I'm still sugar, honey. Okay. At least I'm still sugar sweet. In my head every now and then I'll just go, still sweet. Okay. I'm sweeter than diabetes to that one old lady who probably, it's been like 15 years, probably watching this from above, just sprinkling sugar on me. Okay. Because that's what she did. She called me sugar and she sprinkled a little sugar in my life. All right. Think I want someone to government name me? Just Evan. Okay. It's not fun. You guys don't get me anymore, dude. Ever since we took a break, you guys haven't been the same. Speaking of dead naming, dude. Remember when that was a big thing? Remember when people were changing their name? Remember when people were changing their gender and then they changed their name? And then like a day later, they were like, you can't call me that name anymore. And you're like, I'm sorry, I've been doing it for 20 years. My bad. I am not. And it's just like the biggest thing ever. Remember that was like a whole thing? I'm fired up today, dude. I've been dead naming my dog, to be honest with you. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. And if you take anything from this podcast, do not get a dog, a puppy, even if it's a rescue and it needs help. Okay. Okay. Now, even if they have a gun to its head, it's a real rescue pet where they are like, we're going to kill this pet, or it's like drowning in a flood and you got to rescue it. Let it go. Okay. If you're going to have a baby, because juggling a demonic dog and a baby at the same time, a little stressful. It'll put a little bit on your life. All right. It's not easy. I do feel like I got the reason it's not easy is because I don't have just a regular dog. This dog that I have, that's currently, I don't know if you could hear it through the microphone, tearing apart toys right outside the door. Okay, I have the Damien from the Omen of dogs. Okay, this dog Lucille. Okay, teeth like barbed wire. That's why I named her Lucy, was after Lucille from The Walking Dead, Negan's bat. Okay, his little thing's got some teeth on it. Okay, here's a pro tip. I know I fucked up. This is all my own doing that I've done to my life. Okay, so when you hear this, none of this is a reflective of anything other than my own choices that got me in the situation. Accept responsibility. Now that I've done that, don't spend 30 seconds with a puppy and be like so emotionally torn that you're just like, I'll take it. Okay, because that's what happened. Okay, and I love every animal. Okay, but I don't always like this one. Okay, I love her, but I don't always like her. Okay. And here's what I find out. I don't know if I've said this before, but it really is a mystery pet. Okay. This dog on the website description, all it said was yellow. And I was like, yellow what? And they were like, dog. Okay. We think. True story. And I go, well, what kind of dog is it? Do you know the breed? No. Is it going to be a small, a medium, or a large dog? They go, it might be a medium to a large or a small dog. Motherfucker, you just said the whole gauntlet of what this dog can be. You just told me everything. You just said, hey, you're going to drive your little Mario Kart go-kart through our shelter, ding, 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 hit one of those little cubes, and then your dog's going to turn into whatever. You're going to hit a mystery box, and it's going to ding, 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 and this dog's going to grow up into anything. Could have became a dingo for all I know, okay? Which could still be the case. But one thing I find out about this dog, after we have her, this dog was second generation street dog, okay? That means that her parents were street dogs, okay? That this dog was rescued, stuck in a fence while all the other dogs got away, okay? It was raining, it was stuck in the fence. He didn't want to disclose that. And then you think about it, trafficked this dog, okay? Because if her parents got away and everything, you kidnapped this dog to give her to me. This is the story of Mighty Joe Young, okay? Do you remember that movie where they took a gorilla, they went into the poachers, got the gorilla, and then the gorilla ends up in the zoo? This is that story. We have a King Kong style story where the animal was taken from its parents and brought into the shelter. And then I end up with this dog. And one of these days, I'm going to be walking this dog, and another street dog is going to come up behind me, shoot me in the head like Liam Neeson, rescuing their dog. I'm in a fucked up Taken movie, okay, because of this dog. Because someone decided to play God and intervene and get this dog, thought that they could give it a better home. Let this dog be wild, okay? You know what? Matter of fact, after this episode, I might go out and I might just take the collar back off and just be like, go find your parents, kid, okay? They're still out there. Sabino's going to happen. My dog's just going to be waiting outside the door, okay? But you got to love all animals. You got to believe all animals, okay? That's the moral of the story. Okay, let's get out of here on some questions, okay? I'm going to be honest. I ran through these questions before. Which one should we do? We have a list. I did the 7-minute episode and we talked about these questions, so I feel like a fraud saying them again, but you guys never heard that episode. It is one of those unreleased episodes. Nothing good even came of it. We just talked about April 1st and April Fool's Day and how silly that was and some of the April Fool's Day pranks that I did back in my day, dude. Let's do these questions. How do you feel about the police? Okay, getting controversial. I think we need to refund the police. Okay, I'm on that side. Okay, because I see what happens when you defund them. Okay, I live in a blue area. Okay, I'm on the cusp of a red area and a blue area. I'm in a red state right next to a blue city. Okay, a little blueberry, if you will, according to Matthew McConaughey. Side note: Matthew McConaughey, cool enough to say quotes. It just is what it is. I don't make the rules. I like the police. I think the police are great, dude. I think that's an insanely hard job and a stressful job, and you got to make crazy decisions. I like the police. Now, my encounters with them, I've had some experiences where it could have gone either way, where I've dealt with great cops and I've dealt with bad cops. Okay. And you gotta dance the dance. You gotta lean in the lingo. You gotta be like, okay, well, I can feel this going a certain way. I need to be very smart right now and not give anybody any opportunities to try to make this something more. I also had this experience where I was driving. The only place I've ever gotten a speeding ticket was driving through Texas. Okay, years ago, I was driving through El Paso. I don't even think this person really had me clocked, but they said they did. And they said, "Where's the fire?" And this dude was wearing a cowboy hat. And then he said he clocked me going this. I said, "What did the radar say?" He says, "I clocked you with driving," or something like that. I don't know how it held up, but that was the only speeding ticket I've ever gotten, dude. So that particular cop, dude, can suck it. Let's infiltrate the Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't really know what that means, dude. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know too much about the Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't. Jehovah's Witnesses, like, what do they believe? Let's Google it real quick. What do Jehovah believe believe that Jehovah is the one and only God and Jesus is his first creation. After death, life completely ceases to exist. Jesus is resurrected and will appear when all outsiders to the faith have died. Oh, when the witnesses will care for the rest of the time. Whoa. That's fun. That's a good take on it. That's like I like that. I like that tale. That's not a bad idea, you know? But wait, so do witnesses live forever? What happens? So you just got to keep witnessing everyone else die? Is that what it is? That you're witnessing death all around you and you're just the last one standing? If that was the case, wouldn't it be like 3,000-year-old witnesses? Older? You just gotta hope that the witnesses outlive the. You're playing the long game. And then the witnesses will take care of the earth. You're gonna like garden? You're gonna take care of? What are you gonna take care of? You can take care of the tariffs? Huh? Topical, dude. I'll infiltrate anything, dude. I don't give a shit. I'll do it just for funsies. It is, except for the cults, dude. That's how you know something is either a cult or a religion, is if anywhere in their religious writings, it leads to them having sex with your girl. And the one, if there's a connection from the leader to inside of your girl, it's a cult. Or inside of you, if inside a guy. Anything that ends up with the leader inside of you and not talking spiritually or metaphorically, cult, okay? Cults are always set up as a sex-stealing pyramid scheme. And that's just, it is what it is. Okay. Another question was White Lotus. I just started White Lotus just based off of the hype. Okay. I've heard this over and over again. I'm only 3 episodes in, so I'm still world building. So far, it's holding my attention. It's entertaining. And we'll see where it goes. And we'll report back once we have digested the whole thing. Okay. The thing that I'm in right now, deep into it, giggity, 1883. Okay. I recently went back and I finished Yellowstone. You know, I wasn't mad with the way it ended. I thought it was cool the way it tied in. I like, you know, a lot of people think he's kind of a jackass. Taylor Sheridan. I like him. Okay. He wrote this like really cocky role for himself. And I think he did it tongue in cheek to like have this fun with the character and everything. It is fun. Okay. His world building and what he writes about is so refreshing. The way he writes, how his show is done. I love it. I think he's a great writer and works very hard. The fact that he has so many different shows and he's doing all these things, he's not just resting on one thing and doing it. Like he's a very passionate, driven storyteller. So I love everything Taylor Sheridan's doing. 1883 is one of those great Western romances where it's, you know, the past, the Western, kind of the past of how, how hard life was and the brutality of nature and everything. And he does some very cool things with narration and visuals and metaphors that it's just like you don't get to see it. And I was thinking for a while he doesn't know how, he's not great at writing women characters. He sometimes can make them a little two-dimensional, like just in weird ways, but he makes them larger than life and characters. But I think it's getting better. I think he's doing really good at storytelling. More of like character building. The character development is fine. It's great. But more of the story, I think, is really good with the way Taylor Sheridan writes. Anyway, we'll end on that, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, doing shows all over. Starting a newsletter list to start performing outside of Austin and Texas. And so it's very exciting. I'm going to be putting links in the bio eventually. We haven't even done it yet. To start building a newsletter, an email list. So if I come perform in your area, you can watch me do my shitty thing on stage. Okay, you can watch me metaphorically choke on a hot dog for maybe 45 minutes on stage. Okay. But if you happen to be in Austin, come check me out every Friday at 6 p.m. East Austin Comedy Club. It's my show. I book it. I host it usually, and we have a great time. You can see me all over town doing shows on the weekends, sometimes during the week. San Marcos, I'll be doing 2 headlining shows, April 12th, 6 p.m. show and an 8 p.m. show. Last Friday of every month at Comedy and Caviar. If you're feeling silly, you got a little extra cash to burn. And thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, no matter what, I still love you.